Many of you have been sending me this piece of content from a gentleman called Coach JC. His video is titled, Why I Stopped Swinging Kettlebells. He raises some interesting points that we're going to talk about in this video. But before we get started, I want you to join our free 50K giveaway. Get a chance to win lifetime access to our online kettlebell courses valued over $2,000. Link is in the description. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe here. If you want to be part of the research process of Lebe, then let me know down in the comments if you have a piece of content, a video, a Instagram post, or whatever have you, where somebody's talking about the kettlebell and you want my opinion on it. With that being said, let's jump right into Coach JC's video.
It goes to show that I really do love the kettlebell, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to slander it, but I did choose my words very carefully. I wrote on the title, why I, not you, but I have chosen to stop swinging kettlebell.
He mentions from the get-go that he says he stopped swinging kettlebells, which makes it an individual statement. But as we later find out in the video, he also dishes out general recommendations to stop swinging kettlebells altogether.
I found that if I wanted to burn calories very quickly, more than any other exercise out there, running, rowing, etc., kettlebell will burn those calories off very, very quickly.
Kettlebells are great for burning calories. However, this also might be a two-edged sword. Over-enthusiasm coupled with a beginner's mindset who wants to burn as many calories as possible in a short time frame might lead to injuries down the road. So be careful. The kettlebell is like a weapon. You have to know how to handle it.
Also, it produced within me a great endorphin, so I get a high from actually kettlebell swinging. Now, again, it doesn't matter what the literature says about other exercises out there that can prove to be more effective in terms of burning calories. If you find an exercise that makes you produce endorphins, then you're going to commit to it far more than you would do with an exercise that you detest.
People are more likely to commit to something if they experience these feel-good hormones. That's what high-intensity training does, and kettlebells offer themselves well for this kind of task. It is a great stimulus that makes you keep coming back. That's one of the reasons why CrossFit works so well too. However, once again, we have to apply some proper caution. Sometimes we have to curb our enthusiasm and substitute it with a little bit of patience to learn the skill first.
I noticed that I developed a bit of a posterior pelvic tilt. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're not familiar with it, it really means the hips are tilting forward, which kind of makes you look like you've got a repressed butt.
Now that's strange. I have never heard of this kind of experience before. Matter of fact, I'm on the opposite side. I see that glutes become more developed, not only in my case, but also in the cases of our clients.
At the top of your swing, you get that isometric squeeze there, okay? And the isometric squeeze in any exercise really is kind of like holding a posture, so it becomes almost your default posture. So as I go to the top of the swing, I would squeeze my butt inwards, and I would almost tighten also my quads.
I agree with his description with one little remark. He says he would almost tighten his quads as well. Almost doesn't cut it for me. You see, there's a lot of kinetic energy coming from the backside of your legs as you're swinging the kettlebell. And if we don't ensure that we have some proper brakes in place as the kettlebell travels up here, then this happens. So it's not a luxury to almost tense the quads as you swing the kettlebell upwards. It's a must, and not only your quads, also your abdominals, so that it looks like this and not like this.
If I'm doing a lot of kettlebell swinging, that part of my butt that's being tightened is not the gluteus maximus, but the gluteus minimus. The tightened gluteus minimus will create a posterior pelvic tilt.
First of all, it is important to note that when you are swinging kettlebells, all of your glutes, especially the gluteus maximus, that big thing, your buttocks, is active 100%. Even science proves this. Now, let's first find out what causes posterior pelvic tilt. Quite the opposite. than swinging a kettlebell, to be honest. Being inactive and not moving or using your glutes at all is what's causing this type of tilt. Science Direct, for example, says that there are several factors that cause posterior pelvic conditions, most of which stem from chronic postural misuse, such as sitting in a slouched position. That statement, my brother, doesn't really make sense.
I decided to stop swinging the kettlebell, right? I'll go back to other exercises, which kind of is the downside of the kettlebell, because the kettlebell isn't ideal for really other exercises. You can use it, but it's not ideal. If you're going to use it for curling, you're going to use it for pressing, you're going to use it for deadlifts, then there are better things out there for that. And it's plus the kettlebell is very expensive.
Now let's unpack this. There are a couple of things that I want to talk about. In the beginning of his video, he stated that he doesn't want to bash the kettlebell. He just wants to talk about his experience with the kettlebell swing and its potential downsides. Now the vibe is a little bit different. It comes off as if he doesn't like the kettlebell at all. Your personal goal should always precede you determining what's best for you. You want maximum hypertrophy, building as much muscle possible like a bodybuilder? The kettlebell's not the tool for you. You need exercise that doesn't require a lot of skill? The kettlebell's not the tool for you. You want to build maximum strength like a powerlifter or a weightlifter? The kettlebell's not the perfect tool for you. It touches all these bases, yes, but it doesn't specialize in them. In terms of exercise selection, however, I strongly disagree. You can do a plethora of exercises with kettlebells that give you a lot of bang for your buck. If you want to know which ones, I have a video right here that you can check out via the link at the top of the screen. As for the price, a quality kettlebell is an investment. Yes, but you have to understand what you're getting. It is completely worth it. It's a jack of all trades that replaces a full gym and with it, a full gym membership.
But nonetheless, I decided to cease swinging the kettlebell. And would you know it, within about 3 weeks, my ass returned. Thank God. Okay? Because I was beginning to get really worried that I'd never get it back.
What? Bro, why are you even worried? Let's just assume real quick that even if what you're saying is true, the kettlebells don't work your glutes, they make them look less aesthetic, and you're looking for an alternative, do some barbell squats. Don't worry about not getting your muscles back, because muscles don't just magically disappear or appear. If you work them the proper way, you can pretty much develop any muscle to your liking. It's not a form of hoping or wishing, it's a form of doing.
That's my message to you. If you notice that you have a bit of a tilt at all, I would not recommend using the kettlebell for you.
Now here's exactly the moment where it stops being an individual experience that he's just sharing and where it now transforms into a general recommendation. And that's the reason why people sent this to me, because it becomes confusing, it's actually misleading, and it's not based in evidence. So we've established that posterior pelvic tilt mostly comes from sitting a lot and from having a bad posture in general. If you sit a lot and you have a less than optimal posture, the kettlebell swing is the perfect exercise for you. Granted, you need the skill, your spine has to be able to tolerate it, you have to build up to it, but it's still a great recommendation. And I have a hunch that my brother JC's technique is maybe not of high quality. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. So let me give you a clear-cut rundown on how the kettlebell swing works. So here's how we do the double-handed swing. Shoulder width stance, the kettlebell's approximately half a meter in front of me. I hinge, this means pushing the hips back with a straight back. Now I tilt the bell towards me so that the base is off the floor. I pull my shoulders down and I want to make sure that I have a lot of tension before I get started. This is the setup, which is your first rep. Then I swing my arms, and by extending the kettlebell between my legs, making full contact with the body. We call this the ABC, arm-body connection. Now I hip thrust the weight upwards by extending the hips, but I keep my arms close to my body until the hip extension is finished. Now the disconnection happens, the arm flies upwards. And now up here, I have a reverse thrust moment where gravity sets back in and pulls the kettlebell back down. And this is where I want to let gravity do its thing. So the kettlebell drops back down. I wait for my arm to reconnect to my body, re-engage into the ABC. I feel it, then I go back into the hinge and the kettlebell swing starts again. This is what it looks like. So here's the next thing that you have to do. Like the video, consider subscribing, share it with friends, and then go watch this video. Maybe that's the first time you've landed on our channel. We're all about kettlebells. You're a beginner and you need more information, you're looking for a tutorial, here you go. One of the best tutorials out there that's gonna help you get a head start. So go watch it right now.